I grew up in a very Victorian family. That was sex. Or the nearest we ever thought was sex, anyway. You know. And there was no, you didn't express emotions, that was not done. So, I mean, my father once, he swore once, he said, hell's bells, are we having any supper around here or not? And that was, we all went, wow. You know, so I grew up in this kind of non-emotional family, and so when I found an Italian who would be very mushy and all that stuff, I fell into it. I loved it. I needed that, but I sure didn't get it at home.
So what was the final proposal like?
Well, he kept asking me and asking me and asking me. I don't remember. And he just threatened to leave without me.
Are you taping her?
No. Papa, how many times did you propose to Mommom?
How many times did I propose?
Yeah.
Well, the first time I took her out, I proposed. And then the music played.
It's the wrong time.
It's the wrong time, it's the wrong place. She said, listen to the music. And I proposed and she said no. And then I finally said, I'm gonna go to Michigan. And I'd like her to come with me. And she said, no, but it'll be a good chance for us to detach from each other and we could write to each other. And I said, I don't write letters. You're gonna come with me or you're not coming with me. She said, I don't know. So later on I said, well, she said, well, all right. That was how she accepted my
Did you
proposal.
really just say, well, all right?
Well, remember.
Biggest decision in your whole life and you don't remember.
I don't remember.
You know what her daddy told me?
What?
Huh?
What?
Well, he knew I was gonna ask him for her hand. So we were at the table at the outside their house.
Hand,
Her
he wasn't
sister and
interested
her
in my
and her
hand.
mother, and all of a sudden they got up and said, we need to clean the table, and there I was with this a 10-foot tall guy. And he said, did you have something to say to me? I said, well, you probably realize I didn't want to ask you about Mary, whether or not. I said, I'd like your permission to get married. Well, he said, the first time I said, the answer is yes. He said, otherwise I would have been putting up with you around here. But he said, we need to talk a little bit about your background. I said, well, he said, well, I understand you're Catholic. I said, yeah. And he said, well, Episcopalians, it's no big deal. But he said, but I also understand you're a Democrat. I said, yeah, I was brought up. He says, well, have you thought about voting Republican? He says, as long as she's going to go different with her religion, I want you to go different with your vote. So I had to vote Republican when I asked for her marriage.
What ended up happening? What ended up happening?
When is happening?
What ended up happening?
What exit of something didn't happen?
No. She raised the kids Episcopalian and then she voted Democrat.
Yeah, she betrayed her father. But I didn't tell him.
You betrayed your parents. You left the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.